Welcome to the UPL. It's quarterfinals and playoffs. I'm your host, Ravishing Ravish, the most ravishing man on the internet, joined here by my trusty sidekick and very handsome man, Destrux. How you doing, Destrux?
I didn't realize we're going live, but hey, we're just going with this. I'm doing fine, Ravish. Let's get into this, man. We got playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. And as I spun around like a microwave, that means that things are heating up here in the UPL. The radiation are not what it's why. For the very first desk, we do have our main man, Mr. Jack O'Freno, with us as our guest analyst for tonight. Jack, what's up with you?
You say things are heating up, but Destrux is wearing a long sleeve, so there's some conflicting viewpoints here on the desk, but I guess that's always nice. Okay, we have two long sleeves here. I guess I am in the minority, but then again, I am also the only one on the desk without facial hair, but it's a good day. You know, we got a bit of playoffs action.
Understandable here, but you know, you were in the minority in more than one ways here, Jack, but that's A-okay here, friend. Now, but as you go and break down as to what we have here for tonight in terms of our matchup, of course, we got Maryville versus Striking Vipers Maestros going at y'all tonight. In terms of the playoff format, as best threes all the way to open the semifinals and then finals, and it is single elimination bracket, so if you're gone, you are gone. Dunzo bunzo. See you later. Sayonara. Wouldn't want to be you. So which is why it is all or nothing for all these teams in every single one of these matches, your districts. Now, look at the matchup for tonight. Your thoughts going into them, and any sort of things you want to sponge out of your heart and make us feel.
I mean, normally I would be like super hyped up on Maryville right now, but as of lately, I've been a little bit worried about them, especially when it comes to this division, when we look at the Mountain Division and their performance overall. Sure, they got first place in the division. Sure, that's as expected, but the series score is not as expected. They went 2-4 in the regular series, 3-5 when it comes to games, falling to teams like Conviction, Mercenaries, even going to game number 3 when it comes to AoE randoms. As of lately, they're having a good run over in the UGP. They did fall to losers bracket, but right away eliminate the team that did knock them over to the losers bracket. So maybe there's some hope for them. The meta's shifting. We're seeing more of those control mages. We've seen Spyrax hop on a lot of those. He's performing really well since that. So I think Maryville, even though they're struggling as of lately, they are showing some signs of improvement and revitalization.
That's definitely one of the biggest points you put it out there, right? Exactly. Like Maryville across the entire year have really had what I like to call a heartbeat sort of season, not only in the UPL, but across the board in CLO and as well in Proving Grounds too, where they've suddenly spiked up, gone down yet again. And if we're looking at it right now, the spike they could possibly need could be here today, but considering their opponents here, Jack Second Vipers Maestros, like, you know, the overall season has been like kind of okay. They just barely made it to the second spot, being at Rock Tribe in overall game score, having 3-3. But considering their overall opponents, do you think that Second Vipers have a fighting chance today?
No. Their biggest contribution to today's match, in my eyes, is how well can Maryville form? Because we heard it from Destrux that Maryville, to quote the young kids these days, they have been looking a little sus. Might have to vote them off the ship here, because if they can't show up tonight, if they show a little bit of shakiness, sure, we're kind of expecting them in 99% of the scenarios. Yes, they're going to move on, but how are they going to move on? Is it going to be a clean 2-0? Or are they going to get out and lickety split? Or is it going to be a much more messy thing where, like, we kind of expected better of you, buddy. Why are you down here this low? And it's like, we're going to be looking to this match as more of a foretelling for the future here and see how Maryville can, I guess, quote unquote, get their act together.
I mean, Striking Vipers have looked quite a bit shaky in the regular season. We covered one of the games, their first game against Wildcard Developmental. And there was one of those games where it's just like, what's going on here? What are Striking Vipers doing? It felt like they were just giving stuff for free, overweight a Wildcard. That has been their kryptonite in that division. Getting taken down by Wildcard time and time again. They did get Wildcard to a game 3, though, but that was just off the back of having Deer Vista pop off on that Varus. That being said, though, you know, Wildcard is a team that adjusts quite well. They're able to adjust and beat them. Maryville is a team notorious for being able to do that, so it does have my worries for Striking Vipers as they come into this match.
And also considering the roster that Maryville has as well, these guys are all very experienced and extremely talented seasoned players, right? Who've gone up against some of the best. I'm looking at players like Odd Orange, bro. Nathan is a monster in the jungle, especially when allowed to free roam or just even being given a lease in a Xiao. Like suddenly, the jungle and everything else around the map is just simply And how long Maryville worked together too definitely does show with the trust they have in their teammates. So adaptation will be the name of the game. And for Striking Vipers, it's going to be looking at that macro game. Having the right roam timers. If you draft for a competition around Dragon's Day, make sure you play a lot more bot centric. Funneling in resources and having easy to execute compositions is definitely what I'm looking for going into tonight. So Destros, sticking with you. Let me hear your numbers, your matchup. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be 4 to 9, 7 to 35, 100 to 99?
Now, before I get too much into that, I will say my result in a second. I am very excited for what you just talked about, Ravish, and that is the jungle matchup: Odd Orange versus Pyrion. Pyrion, excuse me. There we go. I always have troubles with all those vowels being right next to each other. But Odd Orange, special place in my heart. When I was covering Team Liquid Academy in person, when the Academy teams did their productions in-house, I got to meet Odd Orange. I got to eat dinner with him a lot. And I got to see him play and grow a little bit when he was on Team Liquid Academy. Pyroin has been a wild jungler to watch. This dude pulls out the Talia out of nowhere. He's a very high momentum jungler. Usually gets his advantages very, very early in the game. So it's going to be an exciting matchup to watch between these two junglers. But if I had to put money down, I got to go Maryville, baby. I'm going to say Maryville 2-0.
Respects. Jack, you already kind of pointed to it early, but let me hear those numbers out loud for your prediction for tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that enough numbers? Because I kind of already outlined. Those are the main things I'm going to be looking at. Ideally, it's going to be 2-0 for Maryville. Suboptimally, it's going to be a 2-1 for Maryville. Either way, though, I have Maryville fucking a ticket towards those quarterfinals.
You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you as well here, considering what we will see from Maryville tonight, and honestly, across all of the tournaments they played in, it's gonna be a 2-0 for Maryville. Unless I am still waiting for Maestros to surprise it if they can. I will be more than happy to see it. But with that being said, we do have our casters on lock, ready to go. That being Travesty and Beatdown Boulevard on deck. Y'all take it away.
Thank you, as we are getting ready to go into what's going to be an exciting night of games here in the UPL. My name is Travesty. I am joined here by the ever so glorious Beatdown Boulevard. Beatdown, we got Maryville, we got Striking Vipers Maestro. We got to see exactly what the result's going to be as we're starting our journey into the quarterfinals here.
And I'll tell you what, this is not going to be as easy as some people on the desk were thinking. I like what Deserex was saying at the start of this. The fact that on paper, with what we know in terms of historics and reputation, it's tempting to say Maryville is going to come through here. The thing is, though, Maryville are off of a pretty unfortunate loss just last night in proving rounds, being taken to... the other day, they ended up losing. And the thing is, too, they are actually in a bit of a... What's the word I'm looking for? They're a bit flippy, depending on who they're playing towards. And that's why when Deserect brings up the jungle matchup between the two junglers here is a really good point, because Maryville kind of live or die by the Odd Orange and how well he does himself here. And Chippy's, for the most part, they leave him on his own. He plays weak side for the most part here, and everything is coming through that jungle role.
You forgot the most important thing about that loss there. I was casting that one, so who knows? There could be a curse here for Maryville here. They have the caster curse being brought to him live by Travesty. It could be an unfortunate set of conditions. But yeah, I do like that point here. And, the side of Striking Vipers, this is an org that we've seen grow up quite a bit. So is definitely something that I'm going to keep my eyes on, because obviously Striking Vipers, they have an eye out for talent. They know how to grow it. They know how to cultivate it. See exactly what the talent will be able to do as we are inside of playoffs. And the ban phase going pretty slow here, with these teams taking their times dissecting what they want to take away from the other.
Yeah, and a lot of these picks definitely up towards the top side in Chippies, like who we were just talking about here. You got to imagine, of course, as customary, Zinzao will likely be that last ban there for Striking Vipers. And on the other end, a lot of these bans are making sense as well. Tom Kench, so very good at the moment, especially as a flex, is something you don't want to let go through on the red side.
Not at all. Don't unbench the Kench, man. It is the disaster. But Diana is taking out the table. So Jintao is up for Maryville if they do decide. They have first pick, so they have options for this. And it's a champion that Odd Orange has shown himself to be very proficient in. But another champion that Maryville's been proficient in is Ziggs.
Yeah, and I mean, he's become very popular in that. Well, it's the ADC role. Let's be honest. It is, of course, still a flex here and a champion that a lot of teams would like to put priority in. It is nice too because it's pretty safe. You have that ability to escape with the satchel charge. You have the range to be able to farm relatively safely. Excuse me. And what that does is it allows Shady, who also is a big player for this team, to be able to leave lane, roam, allow him to affect other parts of the map, because that's another big proponent of whether or not this team succeeds.
And interesting to come out here, Striker Viper's doing a little hover on the Xin Zhao, saying, hey, listen, I know you want the man with the spear. You want to see what you can do with it? Come on, you know you want it. As they lock into Syndra, lock into Lucian. But Maribel says we're not about it. Lee Sin locked in so quickly, and an Echo here would be a very interesting counter pick to come as a result.
That's a little strange to me, just because people hardly play Lucian in the bot lane. Picking up Lucian Syndra, kind of, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Lucian Syndra tells me you have Syndra most likely going on the bottom side of the map. Maybe this is kind of the bait and switch here for Maryville. LeBlanc will play fine into either one, so this is definitely a lot safer of a matchup. And actually, it kind of just makes sure that Syndra will not go in the mid lane, because I don't know how well that would go for her. But because Xin Zhao ended up being left up, we do see the hover, and I would not be surprised. God damn it. Why don't want to talk about hovers anymore?
They're just teasing you, man. You can't let them tease you like that. And talking about teasing, we got Graves that has been locked in. Nothing to tease about that, as we will get to see what Striking Vipers will get to go for here for themselves. And like you said, this does tell a lot. You're saying Syndra possibly to the bot side. I'm actually thinking this is going to be in the mid lane, see Illusion in the bot side. And I'm really curious on what this means, because right now they definitely need some beef to add to their front line to give these carries some of the space, especially with the limited range they have.
I mean, this is true for both sides. We're seeing quite a lack of beef, as you put it, on either side here so far. We haven't seen top or support pick most likely for either side, and that's why these pools are being pinched out. Striking Vipers continuing to take out top laners. Jace is a little... I don't know if that one was necessary, because they're so lacking. Maryville might have to take a tank in the top side, but that's why you're seeing Maryville themselves ban Braum, and they're going to take away probably another support, and yeah, they're looking at Thresh.
Yeah, I think Thresh is actually the good one to do. Lock it in, get it out of here, because I think Striking Vipers, they definitely want to pick up a support here.
Probably, just because that will kind of... Even though it's unlikely we're going to see anything like a little mixy like Lucian in the top lane, grabbing a support for yourself does mean that you kind of leave a few picks up in the air. Who really knows where everything is going here? And that's why, yeah, we're going to see the Rel locked in.
Rel Lucian, this is going to be a very, very fun lane to be able to watch. I'm expecting a lot of aggression from this bot side now. If it is the Lucian into the bot side here, as Maryville going to hover a couple champions, we've learned our lesson. You don't talk about hovers.
Nope.
Gragas could be very interesting,
I would like
though.
That.
Does give them a lot of magic damage in their composition, so they go ahead and lock that in. See what else they decide to go for.
Yeah, that is a good point, though. Overall, I think Gragas fits that kind of tanky role we kind of need from this team. It's safe in the top lane, so it's fine to be blinded, and it's also really nice because it offers you that disengage. You look at Striking Viper's composition, you have Rel, you have Lucian. These are the kind of champions who are probably going to be doing a little bit more moving forward, trying to follow up the dive of the Ferromancy Crashdown we're going to see come through from this Rel. So to be able to disengage safely does make a lot of sense here. That Exploding Cask is so good for that. Gangplank, another champion who plays in this fashion here. So it's really interesting to see that one picked up as well. It's still a little lacking when it comes to beef. So Maryville, they are going to have to play these fights very carefully. And if they're the ones who are going to initiate, it's going to have to be Shady, who seems to be the one who's going to play this Gragas.
Yeah, I was about to say too, man, like Shady coming in here on the Gragas is not something that you get to see every day. You only see it in a couple matchups here and there, but seeing exactly how he'll be able to pilot this, especially with Shady being so phenomenal at being able to roam around the map, this is actually scary. I'm going to be honest right now.
Yeah.
I'm Striking Vipers Maestro, man. Your Graves, he's like, guys, you got to tell me when Shady leaves lane. Like, I cannot handle a Gragas and a Lee Sin just jumping on me. That's too much damage, too swiftly, too quickly.
And just think about the play setup that can be in some of these other lanes. If Shady moves his way to the mid lane, one nice body slam is going to allow you to most likely land the entirety of your combo for Spear Axe in the mid lane on this LeBlanc. It can be great for a place top side. And again, the value in these team fights can't be understated either here. And so now, my question really is, where is Striking Vipers putting the Syndra? Where are we seeing the Lucian go through? I don't think this is going to be the final look based on the pick order. I do think it's going to be Syndra
What do you mean,
in that
Greg
bottom.
is bot lane?
Oh yeah, you're right. Greg is ADC. But either way, I don't think Lucian will be that bot laner, just because when you pick a champion like Ziggs, what people do sometimes is they'll pick the Syndra, saying, okay, you want to relax, farm and scale, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to put a mage of our own in the bottom side of the map here. So that does feel like the most likely outcome to me.
Okay, well, I had to see, right? Like, who's going to be the biggest big brain between the two of us?
Oh, it's me.
Listen, you might have your crown for now, all right? I'm just saying.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
Joshi's coming for it. I'm a little nervous.
Joshi is coming. Joshi's on a wild hunt for that thing, as we are going to be able to see what these teams have in store for us. And this is going to be a very exciting matchup, I feel like. There's actually a lot of aggression that actually can come out here. Lots of volatility, a lot of aggression easily pulled out by both of these teams in their composition. I would definitely say that Maryville has a composition that I feel like is more leaning into their comfort, and I think they got the better end in draft. But Striking Vipers, they definitely came in here, and they're not going to play passive, it seems.
No, certainly not. I think the most interesting thing is what I like about the Lee Sin LeBlanc mid jungle duos. It's they like to fight. They like to skirmish early on. Lee Sin, of course, being especially good in the early stages of the game, I think work out really well for Maryville as the one who bridged to their later game champions that are stronger. Things like the Gangplank, who are going to scale just astronomically, and LeBlanc, who of course will still do more damage later on, Ziggs, etc. So it seems like you said, one is playing comfort, two, they have ways to play at every stage of the game here. So I do agree that is pretty good for them in terms of their composition. But if you look on the other side, we see double 80 carry coming through. We see Syndra as well, so we got a lot of damage in this composition, but it all is very contingent on Rel. Whether or not Rel can actually get that flash crash down into a Magnet Storm, the combo we've all seen a million times. It's going to be very contingent on that, because there are many other ways they can start fights. Maybe an infected cleaver from the Mundo, but outside of that, no actual hard CC besides their support.
Yeah, Rail is there engaged, and I love the fact you bring that up, because it's also a question of like, hey, yeah, you can flash Magnet Storm, that's fantastic, but you always have to make sure your team is ready to go. So myself, there's the one thing I definitely am going to be curious about, and it's the one thing that I'm only going to be able to take context clues from, is how is Striking Vipers going to be able to communicate inside this game? Because I feel like that's going to be the most interesting thing, is as we see their gameplay go out, if they're able to find themselves any kind of advantages or anything like that, this is a team that if they communicate right with this combo, I mean, it could look beautiful in theory.
It could, and it all just depends on getting the engages that you like. The thing that's a little tough for Striking Vipers, truthfully, is that because their main engage is this Rel, you go in for an engagement, you get separated with that exploding cask, or you get slowed down by the cannon barrage from Chippies in the top lane, whatever the case may be. Then what do you do next? You don't really have anything to play for anymore. Your Rel is dismounted, so she is extremely slow, because it's what happens when she demounts, and you don't really have a way to follow up. You're kind of stuck. You're immediately on the back foot, and there are still plenty of tools available to Maryville to shut you down. The thing that is nice for them, if it really is going to be Lucian in the mid lane, you are going to have a pretty decent time getting priority, especially early on in the middle parts of the game, and that helps because as long as you can clear waves quickly and move down to the either the Dragon, Rift Herald, whatever side of the map you're trying to make plays for, you do have the you do have the options to be able to get to these objectives first. It will make these Rel engages that much more impactful. Fine. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Go.
I'm sorry, real quick. I'm just trying to make sure that I can fit your crown on my head real quick, as I called it. Okay. Going into game number one here, though, ladies and gentlemen, Maryville is over onto the blue side. On the red side, we got Striking Vipers Maestro here, and it is absolutely set to be a very fun night of League of Legends here. as we're already seeing a little bit of cheekiness from Shady.
How did he even get there? What was I not looking at? Do they even know?
Listen, his 2 feet can carry him far. All right.
You don't say. And all right, fine. You were right, Travesty. I was wrong. It is Lucian in the bot lane, and this makes sense too because Lucian, when he was a very predominant in the bot lane, he was an early lane bully. There's a lot of pushing power. The fact that he can do really well in early trades is another way to answer the kind of champion in the bot lane that's just here to farm, try and be as safe as possible while trying to maintain some semblance of priority. So, because Unbenched Hat is most likely going to be under a lot of pressure, this does mean Striking Viper should be able to have control over this bottom side of the map, fight for things like those dragons, and of course the scuttle we're going to see very soon. You already see Pyrone pathing top to the bottom, so you got to imagine that's already going to be where things start.
See, I'm in a little bit of a different thing here. I think we're going to see some war flashbacks hitting Vista here as the bombs are going to be dropping. It's going to be terrifying, man. You're stepping through a minefield over there, playing a short-range AD carry. But talking about a minefield, I want to talk about a magic trick that's about to happen. Stevenator, your HP, where is it?
Oh, my God!
Get some first blood to Spyrax.
Wow, and Spyrax taking the Ignite too. He was out for blood from the very start, and already things are rolling for the side of Maryville. Early kills on LeBlanc. We don't like that. Also, this is why I was saying Lucian in the mid lane instead of Syndra, because this matchup is not fun. The Spyrax has kindly showed us.
I will argue that any matchup versus LeBlanc is not fun.
That's actually really okay. I won't argue with that.
It becomes a very rough touch and go now. Now it's going to be the question on how Spyrax translates this, right? You get 1 kill, you're able to shove into Syndra. I want to see what happens. We're going to see this Lee Sin finish a clear here soon, and Stevenator's still taking so much damage. Spyrax hasn't even used all of his corrupting pots yet.
Yeah, well, especially with that first kill, as soon as Spyrax goes for that back, that mid lane matchup is, well, it's no longer Stevenator's. He doesn't get to play League for the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. So this is why now we could see a roam come through from Spyrax if they want to fight for this crab, or maybe he just wants to continue getting control of this lane. A couple more kills come through here, and at this point, even though Syndra historically is a very good wave player, at this point, Stevenator will be fearing for his life so much he'll never push up to the wave. He will just have to wait until Spyrax graciously pushes it under his tower, and that will make these objective fights a lot easier for Maryville.
Could be them, as you are seeing a couple different advantages going across the table. I do want to highlight a couple things, especially the fact that this Gangplank has been able to get this early advantage. And by the way, that early ward they got turned into Krugs that Chippies was able to steal away on the map, which is just, yet again, this is Chippies just having so much fun up here in the top side. He's able to take jungle camps and everything, but looking for a gank here, not going to be successful at it. Satchel Charge was beautifully laid, but all it's going to be is a blown summoner. Well, Stevenator is going to be in a risky spot. The Odd Orange is here, making sure he gets his vitamin C, but he's just going to make sure to go ahead and take him out, as that flash won't be able to help you at all. Stevenator finds himself going down yet again, as still looking for more down here in the bot side, trying to get this bot side going, but Lee Sin is on the way. They have to get out of dodge.
Yeah, at least you get Flash out of the Ziggs here for Striking Vipers, and hopefully soon you can try and punish that in the next couple of minutes, because you do want to be getting something out of the fact that you do have a stronger bot lane in the early parts of the game, especially because mid lane is not going so hot right now for Striking Vipers. So hopefully you can get a kill in these next couple of minutes, allow Dear Vista to be able to try and snowball. And plus, because of all that pressure, they do have a nice amount of vision on the bottom side of the map. So Dragon is certainly an option and on the table here for Striking Vipers.
Yeah, and these backs are coming down now as Dragon has spawned, and Lee Sin over here towards the top side. I'll be honest, a little bit scared for Pain at this point in time with Lee Sin over in the wings.
Yeah, he does have a warp, so he does know he can walk away. Will he be able to is the question.
Yeah, the question that will get asked is Flash just coming across the table. Orange looking to just take Pain out on his own there, as it will be him disengaging. Pyro was over to the side with a shotgun fully locked and loaded. and is going to be over here in the top lane. Will be spotted out. Re-engagement possibly coming out here. Pyro looking to try and get that smoke screen onto Odd Orange. Will be able to cut that vision, but it's just going to be Pyro taking a good amount of damage here. Needs to be very careful. The pings are coming forward. Odd Orange does not have flash.
Shady's here.
So Shady looking for something here as well. Coming over the wall. Not going to be hitting anybody up like a wrecking ball at this point in time.
But it is going to allow what they were looking for to get done here. Chippies will be able to shove in this top wave, recall, and just be able to walk back to lane and wait. Auto reach?
Auto Reach is hungry. He's looking for something. He's looking to feast, and it's going to be Shady who pulls the trigger. Pyro goes down in the name of Krugs as Bane is over to the side, not going to be able to do anything but give a few supporting words.
Yeah, and alrighty, Maryville seem to be in quite a bit of control early on here. Some kills have gone their way, and one even going on to Shady off of a very bold flash combo there. Still, nobody has gone for the dragon, and Maryville, more than likely at this point, they're probably, unless an easy opportunity shows itself here, they're just going to focus more on the top side of the map. One, you enable Chippies that much further, who's going to scale very well. Two, you can grab yourself Rift Herald, which you can use to snowball your lead that much further here. We're already looking at about 1.5k.
And going a level beyond here, as you can see some of these items starting to get those vital components built across the board. I want to bring up something interesting. You do see the Graves and the Lucian are both going towards more lethality builds against this Maryville team composition.
Yeah, it is a really common one, going through the Eclipse because of the sustain it can give you, and it is just pretty popular for Electrocute Graves at the moment. It's all about the burst damage. Speaking of, oh my god.
Yeah, talking about burst. Hey, look, there it is. Look, Chippy's wanted the assist, all right? I can relate. I play gameplay for the assist to get me some of that passive gold income, you know, so he's making sure he's raking in the dough.
Yeah, but at the same time, I kind of wonder if that was really worth it. I don't think there was a question that Spirit would be able to secure the kill. And that's something
Just give me assist. What you saying, man?
Maybe, but it would be nice if you could use it to prevent a dive, perhaps, because Shady's been spending a lot of time out of lane, and one good W could mean the end of the Ziggs if Deer Vista and Zoomin were so bold to try it.
Definitely showing that they are comfortable in the game state of where they're at, right? Saying, we don't need this ultimate for this ability, as they leash Shelly all the way into the mid lane to go for a gank on the Stevenator. They're bringing the neutral camps to it, but because Striking Vipers are able to get the momentum for themselves and find themselves their first dragon of the game.
And this is basically what comes from having the strong bot lane they do, but they are going to need a little more. Deer Vista can get this kill.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be able to find it. A flash forward. Vista finds a solo kill in the bot lane.
Okay, so that is something for their troubles here, but we're still going to have to worry about this 2-0 LeBlanc, who's really starting to ramp up right now. Dragon stacking is still going to be nice for Striking Vipers, so they need to be getting these dragons as soon as they spawn and just focusing all their attention there. This first Herald is also going to be something they have to watch for. I think they have a fight happening, actually.
It's a little bit of a tussle. Oh, they're just, you know, having a little bit of a schoolyard brawl over here in the mid lane. Stevenator currently finding himself without any money to be able to get lunch at this current moment in time, as the bullying has been immense in the mid lane.
You know, ideally, maybe we'll see this Rift Herald drop mid, drop top. Gold in either Chippies or Spear Axe's pocket would do Maryville a whole lot of good right now, as they're already doing well in their respective lane matchups. And then again, look at Shady. I think he's only been in his lane for like the first 2, potentially 3 levels here. And at this point, he's just been all over the map. We talked about how important that is for Maryville. On top of Odd Orange having a good game, being able to have that stellar performance, Shady being around to assist him and all the other laners on Maryville. Such a crucial factor here as well. And we're just seeing it in action.
And do you think that when they ask him, hey, Shady, who do you want to play with in today's game? He's just like, oh, yeah, sure. Huh? What? Where? Like, he's like, who do I play bot lane with? I thought this was just another lane to be able to go to, because like you said, he's just all over the map, showing so much presence, and it's like having a second jungler at all times. And Striking Vipers kind of been in this situation where they've been caged for sure, and they got to be careful, as Maryville looking to bring the pain to them this time around.
Yeah, you can see the ultimate coming through from Pain top side just to make sure he can clear this wave and go for a reset here. We're already seeing Chippies really start to come online as well. You got to imagine he's getting pretty close to that Trinity Force, excuse me, which is a pretty big spike here for the Gangplank. Okay, he has it at 11 minutes. It's not bad, Travis. It's not bad.
That's pretty good. Pretty good, I would say.
I would agree.
I do want to bring up, too, we saw Syndra press the outplay button in the mid lane, and LeBlanc still was just fine.
Wow.
Oh, Pain. Wow, that hurts me.
Really, I'm enjoying it. Chippy, he's got some fancy feet. He's got some nice movement there, dodging, I think, all of the briefcases, and immediately just getting control of the lane once again here. Pain has completed the Anathema's chains, so I think probably for the moment, he's going to use that on Chippy's build that Vendetta, but as time goes on, you may want to consider... Actually, he might just keep it on Chippies and then just focus on building a lot of magic resist because of how much damage we're going to see from this LeBlanc and this Ziggs later. I think we have something happening.
Yeah, a little bit of a skirmish. Scatter the Weak does not connect. Smokescreen doesn't either, and that's going to be the bomb getting dropped, and they go down together. That is Maryville picking up 2 kills in quick succession in the mid lane.
And it ends as quickly as it started. They're not even going to bother dropping the Herald. All these kills, they know Spirax can just take place safely on his own. Instead, Pain is going to be their target.
Yeah, they're looking to just put their resources onto Pain. Mundo is going to be able to be fine for now, but he's going to have to go ahead and put the suit back on Shady on a killing spree with that Ignite.
And with that third turret plate about to be exposed, how easy they're going to be able to take it, I think that's going to be first turret over to Maryville here as they drop the Rift Herald in the top side. So all that means is now Chippies is going to get part of all this extra gold. Just look at that. And now, not only will Shelly potentially get another charge, Chippy can really shove this wave out and start to rotate down for these neutral fights.
Look at Pyro. Look at Pyro's HP right now.
Oh,
Pyro is getting
gone.
eviscerated. Spyrat finds himself on a killing spree, just hunting down Graves inside their own jungle. The Syndra has something to say about that. Spyrat is looking for the outplay, but a shutdown for Stevenator comes out all the same.
I mean, considering the damage, the HP numbers when they both started this, that was a good attempt from Spirax, and overall 3-1 is a pretty happy number for him to be at. The Stevenator is happy to find it as well.
Yeah, he's looking for trouble, and he's trying to find some damage out onto Shady, but Shady was able to disengage that beautifully for themselves and be able to escape that to Platypus. We'll go back to his wave clearing duties.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Vista has also built the Eclipse for himself here too. So more lethality here. It is a not tanky team. Wait, actually, I think we have... Yeah, oh, they got him.
Yeah, they know. They know. There's a ward there. Hey, you can drop a bomb all you want, but... Hey, yo, Vista is here. He's ready to go. He gets the shut off. Has to blow the heal there, though, as the Leandries would have taken him off the field.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit rough there, and there you go. That's what the potential is for this Rel. You get a nice combo up, you can get a pretty easy kill. You get the second dragon as well, which is pretty much the only thing Striking Vipers have going for them at the moment here, especially with the Mountain Soul. Getting that extra sustain, the shield that comes with the Soul, would be very useful in their composition. Pain and Zoom-In especially would be hard-pressed for Maryville to be able to take them down. It would take at least a little bit of effort. So if they can continue doing this, getting that early soul point, they might be able to force a tough decision onto Maryville.
Could possibly do just that. And right now, Maryville kind of spread out across the map down here. Focus more down towards his bot side. They can kind of leave Chippies on his own island right now, as anybody who has to contest him has to just about walk the plank to do so. It is a very dangerous time. Look at Strider's health, actually. Vista putting out a healthy amount of work down here in the bot side.
I think we might have a bit of a skirt. Oh my god.
Yeah, the deletion, man. This is why you go lethality. Vista finds himself on a killing spree. Chasing down Shady. Isn't going to continue that chase on for Dragon Rage kick will be able to disengage there as Auto Orange looking for his angle. Beautiful ward hop to be able to get out of harm's way here. Damage still coming in very much so, but the minefield in the choke point will be enough to stop the side of Striking Vipers.
Yeah, and this should just be an easy walk up to this Rift Herald here, but will Striking Vipers actually let this one go off? Pain does have his ultimate. They could walk up and try to take it. We just saw what Deer Vista can do as well, but it's seeming like Striking Vipers are happy with that dragon. They don't want to push their luck.
No, Stevenator, not like this, man. He is gone and taken out from the bush itself. Chippies was up laying
Wow.
away. Now Pyro taking a huge chunk of damage. This is what happens, man. This gameplay is so far ahead. If we just look at the gold, I'm sure a lot of it's sitting on just him.
Yeah, probably between him and Spirax is quite the difference starting to build here. We're looking at pretty much 3,000 on the dot
at it.
in favor for Maryville. Ooh, wow. Yeah, 2,700 is that's a big number. Luckily, at least Payne is playing a more bruiser tank kind of champion, so it's not as important. He's still going to get really tanky with the experience and with the gold he's got. But if anybody else gets hit by a double barrel from Chippies, well, my condolences.
You can go ahead and just call him POD because it's going to be lights out for whoever gets hit by that, man. And it's a troublesome spot. As you can see the magic of Ziggs. He sees the tower people then, doesn't need to auto it. Just pop, satchel charge. First over here with Pain, dueling it out. We got some more action though. Shady is here to keep him alive. Pain in a terrible spot here is going to be able to resuscitate his own HP here, tear apart the suit. Will be fine for now. Auto Orange over here on the side has Herald in their pocket. Could be a situation, but they turned their attention. Striking Vipers, I love this. Vista playing so well on this Lucian.
This is what they wanted. This is what was going to, or what needed to come of this matchup they got for themselves in the bot lane. Now, it's really difficult for Unbench to be on his own on the Ziggs. It's clear he's been knocked down quite a few times by Deer Vista here, and the fact is, he's going to be Striking Viper's biggest hope in some of these team fights here, Travesty. If you can get a good position, that culling, as it is at 2 items, is already going to do someone's entire health bar, and that's what they have to be looking for here while setting up for some of these objectives. In Maryville, they want to control the bottom side, Travesty.
Pyro, they know you're there. Explosive cast was able to push him over to the wall. Beautiful flash to keep himself alive. And it's going to be Auto, and she picks up the kill on his way out. So for a 1-for-1, that Shady has to make a retreat using his flash. The Ignite going to be enough, but it's Vista picking up the shutdown as they're able to get 2 kills in trade of 1.
Yeah, and all in all, this is still really good for, well, Striking Vipers. It was a bit of an ambitious play in the bottom side jungle of Striking Vipers by Maryville, so they end up paying the price for it. You give more gold onto Deer Vista, who is 5-0 right now, Travesty. He is so very strong. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, listen, we can talk about people that strong. Spirits wants his name mentioned in the conversation.
Okay.
The orbs can be dropped, but Spirits,
My bad.
finding a solo kill in the side lane, finds his target finally.
And just dispatches him with quick efficiency. Realistically, in time, actually no, he won't be in time for the dragon. So I'm curious if Maryville are going to be contesting this one. Despite your lead, I don't think it's a great idea to let Strike Vipers get to the soul point here, especially for such an important soul as Mountain. But yeah, Auto Orange is here.
Over here.
Yeah.
He jumped into the pit. He's looking to square up. I want to bring up the fact that this game plank, he just went and got himself a Ravenous Hydra, man.
Wow.
Second item.
I mean, the CDR is nice, so it is going to be really good for that parlay especially, and the barrels too. So now, Maryville looking like they want to fight for this dragon, which I think is a really good decision here, but
Oh, good catch out onto Shady, but it's not going to be able to amount to much as they're able to reposition very quickly and effectively. Chippy's trying to set up barrels, but the side of Striking Vipers will not let that be allowed here. You do see him looking for the angle here. Beautiful chain CC, throw the bomb, drop it down. Artillery comes in, a shutdown on the Vista, and now Striking Vipers being routed. The barrels are exploding their HP bars, and that's going to be another set of kills. It's looking like it's going to be 4 members looking for the 5th. Pain trying to make his escape. Shady is still looking to keep up with him, but it is just going to be Maryville coming out on top of this fight, as you need to be a little bit careful of these briefcases.
Travis, that fight was so clean. I'm convinced Maryville have a secret practice tool that lets you have more than one person in that lobby. Because wow, the combos we just came through, Dear Vista never had a chance in hell to be able to get out. He's gonna turn. Wait, he can win this.
Yeah, the world will know
Never mind.
pain, and never mind, Shady able to get out of harm's way. Wow, that was, like you said, though, so clean coming out from Maryville.
It's so clean, I'm almost sick just remembering it, recounting it. And the important thing is Dear Vista is such a big time going into that fight, and as a result, if he's not there, you don't have a chance at winning here. So Striking Vipers, Maestro have to be very cautious about their AD carry, as he is the crux of their damage. He is the crux of their team fight. And in losing him, they lost their chance at an early soul point, which would have been really important because Maryville are going to continue on building this lead they have for themselves. It's insane. We're looking at 8,000 gold now,
Yes.
and an early Mountain Soul would have been nice.
Man, it was a 3K.
How do you like prep mainly for ordering? Just really quick. But what do you do to prep for games like these?
Ask me after this finishes, because I try and keep all my focus onto this because I'm a bad analyst.
Easy as going through, honestly, just cutting through wet paper. They just fell apart on the side of Striking Vipers.
Right now, Vista definitely going to be a little bit more mindful, you would think. But look how far forward he is right now. And Chippy's, he's just freely pushing away. Look how quickly he clears with this Hydra build. It's impossible to deal with him in these side lanes.
And now he has the the Grievous Wounds with the Chempunk Chainsword. So even pain in the 1v1 should be favorable for him as long as he's able to kite. And now at this point, you have Spirax, who's 6-2. He's so strong. Even in some of these fights, he's been able to find some of these angles, and it is going to be really important for this LeBlanc. Actually, hold that thought. We got something here.
Is it something?
I think it's something.
Are you sure? I think
Maybe?
your eyes deceive you here, as it's just going to be a little dance around and just recognizing, hey, listen, hey, look, it's cool that you guys want to play the game, but hey, Maryville says you did not get permission, didn't see your guardian sign that. Stevenator trying to retreat here as its HP bar got absolutely destroyed by one distortion. The bomb dropped, the artillery called. There's no escape if you limp away from a single fight.
Yeah, sorry, Stevenator, that was certainly an illegal move. You can't be in your jungle at this point in the game for pretty much any reason, especially not everyone in Maryville. Am I technically fouling him? No, I think that was a legitimate foul. If I had a red card, I'd pull it up next time we were on camera. But this just means Maryville are going to get the Baron. They're going to continue this insane gold lead they have for themselves. We've crested 10K. There are no outer turrets left on the map to strike the Vipers here. This game is about as close to being done as can be.
Yep, right now the timer's ticking away on a victory being baked away by Maryville, and they are really in control. This is their game to lose at this current moment in time. As you can see right now, there's just so many huge deficits across the table at this current moment in time. And I'll be honest, I don't even think I recall seeing Zoomin be able to get a magnet pull that inside of any of these fights just yet. And I feel like that's a huge crutch. They got to figure out mount something that Vista's able to put in the work for their team if they're going to find their way. Chippy's took a huge amount of damage there. Woo!
Yeah, that was actually pretty nice from Dear Vista to be able to dodge the double barrel. I'm not going to lie, I was clenching as he walked up like, hey, buddy, I don't know if you want to do that. But it looks like Chippy's was the one who didn't want to. Spirax?
He was looking for the catch on the Vista here. Explosive cast was able to push them away, but Odd Orange over here onto the side, and the assassination mission never stops. Artillery into the back line, drops some bombs. Pain separated from the rest of the team, but it's just Maryville taking 1, 2, 3 members out as another does follow. All that's left is Stevenator, but he's not long for the world as the Everfrost will freeze over his body, and Striking Vipers will find themselves going down in game number 1.
And Maryville, with a convincing showing here, are going to pretty much decimate Striking Vipers. Maestro on all counts here. 23-8, 15K up. And Striking Vipers are now one game away from being knocked out of the UPL playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we're going to talk about something before we send it over to a break, man, I want to talk about Vista doing a great performance over on the side of Striking Vipers, but I want to talk about Chippies on the opposite side of the map, man. That dude was a solo monster up there on the top lane. That gameplay looked more like a raid boss at the very end of the game.
Hey, but to Vista's credit, it was a raid boss he was ready to take down. As well, we saw it happen. Had Shady not shown up, that might have gone a little differently. But you can see again how important it is that Vista stays alive in those fights. At the end, the same thing happened. Things were looking okay. Spearaxe was in a tough spot, but Odd Orange finds the way onto Vista, the AD carry, and just deletes him. And if you can't protect your 5-1 Lucian, well, there's something you can do about those fights, even when he's at 3 items.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see if the side of Striking Vipers Master, they'll be able to extract some tactical maneuver gear onto Vista, call him Aaron, and see if they can slay a Titan here in Maryville here. As, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take ourselves a short break. When we come back, our desk is going to get us prepped, ready to go for game number 2. So make sure you don't go anywhere.
Now we knew it wouldn't exactly be close, and game timers were one to really discredit us as well. But looking at this, man, it's a little bit of runaway train. I don't know how much longer until it just comes to a halt at the end of the series. Welcome back to the desk. I'm Budget Global Solo side, joined here by Hispanic Freak and the bot side Tribush, Jack O'Farino. Jack, look at the game right from the beginning, right? We know that things were getting a little bit out of hand, but we didn't realize how fast they would be.
I feel like we kind of expected it to go this fast if Maryville decided to show up in pristine primo condition form, that PSA 10 grade trading card sort of deal. But that's how they did show up. We're kind of worried we might get a little bit more of a bootleg sort of vibe. You know, like when you go to the boardwalk and you see those bootleg things where it sounds very familiar, like, yes, Damly Die. Yeah, I think I know what you're trying to parody there with that one. But no, we got the full-on brain here, that Gucci grade Maryville, and they ended the game pretty quick, as we kind of expected.
Yes, sir. That's right. Look at the replay that we have as well.
Only bad thing we really had was
these
there
were
was a bit
some.
of DC
I
between
should say.
That makes sense.
We should say like.
But other than that, I think we're doing
we
fine.
were
I
talking
think
a lot
maybe we
about
have a
Nathan of the
little bit more
Jungle
fun on
being
this
a
one.
monster, especially the least and we raise as well. And
Because I
his
think
mechanical prowess
it
is not
is
disappointing.
definitely going to.
Yeah, it did not disappoint whatsoever. Always stalking, realizing where his power points were. He knew Spyrax was getting really ahead in that lane and looked to get him even further ahead. Starts off, the whole focus of that gank is Stevenator. He says, I'm going to do one more. Does the insect flash kick onto Pyrian as well. And that was the beginning of the
when you
end
get
right there.
wait, hold on.
All that momentum going on to Spyrax, and he was able to just put havoc all over the Rift.
Absolutely disgusting. Go on, Jack.
Yeah, I would argue the snowball started a little bit before that. There was a lot of cyberbullying going on in that mid lane. I'm surprised Twitch TOS allowed us to show that amount of cyberbullying, but here we are. And yeah, that Syndra did not have the best of times, to say the least.
I would agree. I would argue that Syndra had absolutely the worst of times, considering even right from level 1, she got solo killed by Spyrax. So you can see, like, right from minute 3 that things definitely were not going to go her way. But as you continue out throughout the game, both alongside Chippies, Odd Orange, those two together just ran the entire map with their roams, making sure Graves could not farm, Mundo could not have a tower, and anybody else striking Vipers had 0 leads at all. Is in fact a team fight leading towards that mid game, which you see just how beautifully they're able to string their composition together here, Eric. Like, I was talking about easy to execute comps, but like this right here is just so beautiful.
This was...
I mean, this is just, you find a man and you kill a man. Pretty easy.
That combo, though, this is some FGC stuff that we usually see over. I'm expecting something like this to come out of EVO.
Wombo combo?
Bro, it literally and genuinely was. Yeah, just like, because looking at it from back to front, it goes from the kick to the barrel right into the GP ult. Is just so clean. And like, as we continue to go on throughout this game, right, Maryville took their lead, grabbed it by the chokehold, and I would say there were some points that, like, you know, Striking Vipers looked a little bit brighter, they were getting some things back, but it translated to nothing across the map. So, Destrux, if we're looking at going towards the next game, then can Striking Vipers Maestro really do anything here in the next?
When you were talking about advantages, we did see some advantages come out of Striking Vipers. We did see it in the bot lane with the Lucian pick. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of it. I would have preferred the Lucian in the mid lane, and we kind of saw why. But Deer Vista has been a marksman who's pretty good at positioning in the right place where he needs to be. Problem in that matchup was he didn't really have a good champion to get him in a position where he can just unload on the rest of Maryville. You know, you look at who scales really well, you look at the Gangplank, even the Ziggs, once he's able to get to 6 items, you look at the range of someone like Lucian, Deer Vista could not get close enough without being in so much threat, without having to deal with so much of the composition of Maryville. So I feel like if you get him in some sort of better champion where he can have that range, where he can have that scaling, and give him a stronger front line, that Striking Vipers might have a better fighting chance when it comes to this matchup with Maryville.
That's 1,001% too, because you saw that in previous performances with the Varus too, he absolutely popped off with not only his positioning, his play style, but like he was an absolute fiend when it came to team fights. So definitely getting him one of those picks would be essential. Looking at it. But as you're about ready for game number 2, we'll see who gets unloaded on and who wants to take it. Travesty Beatdown Boulevard, take it away.
I guess we're about to unload on this broadcast, baby. Travesty Beatdown back at it again. And we are going into game number 2 here after what was a very convincing game victory for Maryville inside the first game in this series. Striking Vipers looking to see how they're going to be able to strike back.
That's going to be the important thing. And it's, even though maybe there were some things we can talk about in terms of draft, like Deserex, you're correct. Should have been Lucian mid.
I still get the crown. Beatdown.
Fine, you get the future seeing crown. I get the make sense crown.
I'll take it.
I'd
rather be a prophet than somebody who makes sense. Blah.
All right, I'm just gonna move right past that. The point is, I think at the end of the day, there were a lot of moments where Striking Vipers, Maestros did have opportunities to really get themselves some really solid leads. Like Vista was smashing the bot lane. He was ultimately fulfilling his purpose as a lane bully, but in these team fights, they weren't doing much for him. And in the crucial ones, they were in all the replays you were watching during the death segment. It was Vista getting absolutely obliterated, whether he's received, set, and spiked like he's in high Q, or that one at the end where Odd Orange just 1v1'd him like it was the FGC. And the point is, if you draft yourselves a comp like that, so when you draft yourselves a comp, one, you have an idea of who your carry is going to be, but that can also change depending on how well someone does during the game. If Lucian is 5-0, my whole mind, body, and soul is to protect that guy so he can right click the enemy.
I feel that you identify and you go, wait, hold on, this person must protect, right? Like
Protect.
You protect so they can attack. And
yes.
I'll be honest, what I think we should see here is they should throw like camouflage or something on the Vista if he's going to put out like a huge carry performance like that, because they need to hide him from Odd Orange, because we saw in the replays that were brought to you by the desk, we saw all game long Odd Orange, his feet always found the back of Vista's head. So gonna have to keep our eyes on that, especially because now Odd Orange has seen, wait a second, this guy could pop off if I don't pay attention to his lane. Hold on.
Yep. True. That's a really good point, actually. So we could see more attention bottom side here in this game, too. It does depend. The thing that works for Striking Vipers now, they've chosen to be on the blue side. Maybe they can secure themselves a strong pick. Xin Zhao, for example, made it through the entire draft last game, if I'm remembering correctly, and nobody ended up touching him. So maybe if that happens again, Maryville don't ban it away. Striking Vipers can get that one for themselves. Because you know what? In moments like these, I always say, like, you should just draft simpler compositions, team fight, front to back, very clear front line, very clear back line of carries, and just easy to execute.
Give me the meatball composition, man. I want some big, healthy meatballs generated from the side of Striking Vipers. I want them to make Maryville go Mamma Mia. I want them to be in this situation where they don't know how to deal with these meatballs coming at them. Because really and truly, like you said, making it simpler will work for yourself here, as we are getting through the ending part of our ban phase here. And I am curious, like you were talking about, what is going to be the first pick for Striking Vipers? What do they want to put the priority onto?
Well, realistically, if Lucian isn't taken away, it's something they could get for themselves again. Maybe something to consider putting for Stevenator in the mid lane. But at least game 1 did show it is truly a flex, and Maryville will have to consider that throughout the rest of this draft. And it's looking like Xin Zhao will not make it through this time. Maryville, they know. They're on red side. They're like, no. Nice try. We're leaving that guy where he belongs, in the bin.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, as the Lucian being hovered yet again here. See if that actually does get locked in. It does. So yet again, a lot of priority being put on the Lucian by Striking Vipers.
Yeah, and it's not that surprising. We did have a good performance from Vista. It could still go to Stevenator, and it doesn't give away too much information yet. Maryville, nice try. You can't fool me. I know you're not picking Scion on R1, so they could look to pick a jungler for themselves here, like Lee Sin. There you go. It's a lot better.
Yeah, I like this too. If you pick up another strong engage tool for Shady here, if you do go for the Alistair, go for the Gragas, go for some sort of engage tool to put together with this, you're not showing that much, but you're showing that it's something to be afraid of.
True. Usually you don't, these days you don't see supports picked as often.
Nah.
And it's so, that would be a little surprising to me. And yeah, so the Syndra is going to be what they end up picking up. They're going to be the ones giving it over to Spirax. Champy's definitely well familiar on Spirax. Plays all the mages. Plays them all really well, as we all saw in game 1. So he had a pretty nasty LeBlanc that probably going to make me ban it for the next couple of games I play.
That's very fair, but you want to talk about a champion that's OP. Let me tell you about my boy Trundle. If he gets locked in here, listen, Striking Vipers, you got a fan in me, and there we go. We got a troll unlocked over here, and I think Trundle's a very, very strong champion in the right conditions. It could be disgusting to deal with.
Yeah, especially when the enemy has one or more tanks. You can steal the stats. It's really useful in some of these team fights. And it does play pretty well into Lee Sin. So in that 1v1, it is something that we could see go in favor for Striking Vipers here. And picking up the Thresh, I actually like really early on too. No matter what AD carry they end up rolling with, you can't go wrong.
This is actually a lot better of a draft from Striking Vipers, in my opinion. You have the Lucian that's a flet. Your Trundle's also a flet. You have a Thresh. It's a strong support in general to any matchup and fits into any composition nicely. Really well done from Striking Vipers part, but here is the answer. Ash locked in for the side of Maryville, and that's going to be their answer, saying, all right, fine, you want to grab these Thresh, you want to grab the Trundle Pillar, we're just going to hunt you down with these arrows.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Ashe is that she does a decent amount of damage over time in later parts of the game. Then Enchanted Crystal Arrow is such a great way. It's just free engage. As long as you can land it, it's a really easy way for you to start off team fights as well. I'd still like to see some semblance of a front line because this is what we're seeing so far here. You got to imagine Striking Vipers, they're going to continue. They're going to probably pinch the support pool just a little bit more to give some limit some of the things Shady will be able to play into this Thresh.
And I like it too because this is a composition where a lot of the things that you do have to walk into you. I am a little bit concerned though, I'm going to be honest, because Trundle Pillar is actually really good against a majority of the Syndra and Ashe actually don't have an escape away from Trundle Pillar. So I do think Maryville do need to consider it. A lot of people think about Trundle stealing stats, but that Pillar is one of the most devastating CC abilities you can actually put in the middle of a fight or on the Rift.
And that's the thing, if it goes in the jungle, you can come through the lanes with these ganks, and it would be pretty detrimental. Once your flash is down, if he comes back with that pillar, you're probably donezo. He's just going to take you out here. So now, I'm curious. We'll probably see Maryville choose their support here. Nautilus is still up. Alistar is up, but we probably won't play that one into Thresh. If they want to get really mixy, they could pick Blitzcrank, just because I've seen Shady do it into Thresh. There's still a lot of options for them.
I'd be down. Pantheon!
What?
Okay, Shady's flexing out here. Okay, that's all. That's the explanation I have. It's been a while since I've seen a Pantheon support, but this goes back to the combination of Shady plus Odd Orange are going to kill people.
and the thing, this is like the thing that's scary too. Ashe auto slow. You're never going to be able to outrun when she's able to auto you here. Okay, and it looks like it will be Lucian mid as the Jhin gets locked in. So that's one for me, Travesty. And it's nice.
I didn't put a bet. Hold on.
I said I get a point. I didn't say I want to bet. Hold on. You gotta relax, man. It's good. This is a safe place. We're friends here.
Are we?
Friend. Yeah. I think.
All right. Well, we're talking about we got the power of friendship over here, but they got the power of some thick boys on Striking Vipers. They just hovered Tom Kench and said, "We don't need him. We want the OG big boy and Cho'Gath."
Yeah, and I like the Jhin too because you can play from.
Please lock it in. Lock it in. I dare you. I dare you, Chippy.
No, it's
Chippy,
not true.
Do
it's
it.
not true.
Chippy, do it.
It's not true. It's not true. I don't believe it.
It's not gonna happen, but I'm gonna dare him to it.
No.
I'm waiting.
Okay. See?
Switch it over to Jazz.
You can't fool me. Onto your tricks. I know them all. I wrote them. Do not cite the deep magic to me. I was there when it was written.
Beatdown's on this whole anime revelation path on his arc right now. He's just like,
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I've seen this. I knew this from my backstory, my tragic backstory.
That's
But
right. I've
Jats-
already ascended.
He was already ascended, but we're gonna have to see if Striking Vipers are gonna be able to ascend to the challenge here, as Maryville do grab themselves a counter pick yet again for themselves over here into the top side with this Jats. A lot of volatility yet again that's drafted from this team composition, but man, when this comp gets online, it's gonna be very terrifying for the side of Striking Vipers.
Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty accurate. You still have this front to back available to you, though, if you're Striking Vipers. And besides Chippies, who's going to be playing this Jax, no one is going to be, I think, particularly tanky. So the damage coming through here for this Jin is going to be pretty good. He should be reasonably safe in lane, especially with Thresh on their side as a support. So I think what Maryville are going to do is, of course, like in game one, they're going to be looking to make plays. Spirax, he's looking for those solo dolo kills. You're going to have Odd Orange all over the map trying to set his team up. And the bot lane is probably the most interesting to me because we talked about Shady for his prowess, not in lane, but his ability to roam and help other lanes. When you have that Grand Starfall, which is a semi-global ultimate, well, you can affect lanes a lot quicker and more frequently.
And hit him with the man squat, man. It's absolutely devastating. Nobody wants to be under there when Pantheon makes touchdown. And it can be a very devastating series of events. But I want to flip it over to the other side of the team because you're interested in Shady and the devastation that we know he can bring. I'm interested in Vista, who showed up inside of game number 1, very big for his team. On the Lucian, for the longest time, was the only person on the team that had any kills to the table and was absolutely looking to play the aggressor, even to a gameplay that was had way more gold than him. He was ready to tango.
And I think the thing that's nice too is that Stevenator has a more favorable matchup with the Lucian into Syndra. So things shouldn't go the way they did in game 1 in the mid lane. So I think now it's going to be easier for Striking Vipers to start fighting for these Scuttle Crabs, these neutral objectives that aren't just the dragon. They can consider moving up towards the Herald if they want to as well. And I think that's the thing I'm looking for here from Striking Vipers. They have a good amount of strength in the early game, and I think their front to back is very good. So if they don't fall too far behind, if they don't get decimated in that early game, things could look pretty good in that mid to late game when it comes to team fighting.
Yeah, I'm right there with you in regards to it, but things can get disasterific really quickly if you let this Jat start get those items. If you start to let Odd Orange feel comfortable, if you get a snowball in Pantheon support, that is going to still be something that is a threat that must be assessed. As Striking Vipers, they definitely have to be cautious because they are treading on some very dangerous ground.
True, vision will be really important as well because Chippies can be that champion you play. He can be that player you play to in the side lane. The Jax, great duelist. The fact that you can have Shady join from several screens away with that ultimate too is going to be a big thing. Striking Vipers are going to need to be very aware of where Shady's is post level 6, lest they be surprised in very less than favorable circumstances.
Talking about less than favorable circumstances, it could definitely be just something that could have disaster written all over it, man. I really do have to say, like, yet again, Odd Orange. I feel like a lot of what we're talking about here, it's going to fall back to us just going back over into the jungle and seeing how Odd Orange is going to make it unfortunate for whoever he is ganking. Because that's what it is. There's no unluck or luck. You're gifted by Odd Orange, or Odd Orange taketh away. And that's been the story of game number 1. I'm going to keep my eyes seeing if he's still going to be able to pull out the same level of swagger here as we are going into game number 2, where Maryville could punch their ticket in to the semis if they win this, or Striking Vipers are going to look to strike back and find themselves to bring this series to an even score.
And that one's a really big point here. They mentioned it on the desk. This is a single elimination playoff bracket. So if you lose here, you go home. There is no second chance. There is no pass go. Collect $200. I'm just kidding. Nobody plays Monopoly. It's terrible. The point is,
I mean, when you don't want to have a friendship anymore, it's a pretty good device for that.
You know what? I don't like Monopoly even with my most tempered friends. Like it's just not enjoyable. There are better games out there. If you play Monopoly, I implore you, do better.
You could play the Pokemon Master Trainer board game from back
Literally
in the 2000s.
anything else.
It's a great
but
game.
I've never played that actually. Was it good?
Really? Yeah, it was fun. I actually showed a bunch of people to it recently, but it was fun. It gives you that nostalgia.
That nice. It scratches the itch of childhood.
Yeah. Like, every now and then you're like, man, I just remember how good this was, and you go back and you play it, and you're like, oh man, yeah, that scratched that itch. I don't know what that itch was, but it's itched.
It's itched. Yeah, I'm sure. You know what? This is getting too derailed. Let's talk about this
Is it?
invade. Well, I was about to make it more derailed. That's why I just wanted to go back to the game.
Well, we can talk about how Marvel is looking to derail the side of Striking Vipers here. Look at
Okay.
this. They even made it look like they came from their blue buff. They know there's no vision there.
That's good. So this is actually unfortunate. No defensive vision set up here. DRVista and Zoomin went to lane 4, which I imagine is fear of the invade. So it seems like a lot of these camps are going to be taken by Odd Orange, and Pyron is going to make that sad walk to his bottom side of the jungle and be like, oh, everything's gone. That's great.
No red buff for me, guys. Don't worry. It's a troublesome spot to be in, while Pain is in a troublesome spot for himself. Great skin, not going to be able to connect on any abilities on this Jatso when he's able to counter-strike just like that. Oh,
Yeah, no.
Pyro.
Here's the pillar.
Yeah, beautiful pillar, forcing the flash. This is beautiful, and that's what I'm talking about. Most devastating move in the game.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. These early game champs are junglers, you can see, making a play early on in transition from side to side. We are informed that we do have a pause, so we can talk about the first 2 minutes of what's happened here. Trundle, something you got to be ready for. Your Lee Sins, your Sin Zhaos, your Trundles, your Nunus, those junglers who have CC in their kit, who can really make it a splash with the first few levels. They're gonna come through sometimes. They're gonna walk through the mid lane like, hey, I know you're used to junglers full clearing, but what's up?
The only reason why I say the pillar is such a great ability, by the way, is it
I mean, you're
literally
right.
creates an obstruction. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, you don't have to drive a Nunu snowball, right? You don't have to drift
Right.
around the map. You don't have to do anything like that. You don't even have to hit them with a pillar. Just put the pillar in the general vicinity, and it is a nuisance.
It's true.
And that's why I think Trundle is that the pillar in itself is one of the most devastating abilities that could be out there. It's a little mini Azir wall, and it's fantastic. I personally love to see it, and I want to see Pyro doing more of that, man. We didn't get to see him doing that on the Graves.
Right. I mean, now he has his own bit of gank assist, and there it is. Flash is already out for Spirax. 5 minutes. It's a long time as a champion like Syndra with not a whole lot of mobility. She just floats there slowly, and you have to always be cautious. Where's that Trundle? He was just here, right? No, there's no way he's in the top rush, right? It can't be. And then as you go to ward it,
He's there.
he's there.
Yeah, and I want to see this all game long. I want to see Pyro visit mid and bot specifically the most, because top lane ganking a Jats can be a little bit difficult, and it can be
He
a
can
weird
turn that.
situation. Yeah, he can turn those. So especially in Trundle. Trundle doesn't appreciate Jats whatsoever. So I want to see him continue his focus, man. That was a good bit of pathing to come out here. See if that continues forward. I also want to talk about Maryville's early game strat that they had here to look to hamper this Trundle.
And the strategy is it's good. You go for the invade because you have the Pantheon with a lot of kill pressure. Speaking of,
yeah, looking at it, Zoomin going to go down, and he is going to find himself victim here. Vista has to flash, and the aggressive bot lane is here to play. Vista taking a little bit more damage, has to be careful. Shady is looking to get those cooldowns back up and running, but is going to be safe and sound. But wow, coming back to kill hot on our plate.
right, and Unbench started with the longsword already. That extra bit of gold means he's already working his way towards another item. Oh god, Pyro, and he's here. He's here.
Oh, the flash pillar coming in. Feeling brave, but Pyro disengaging immediately on Orange, laying out some damage of their own. He has a red buff, you don't. Thresh is over here to the side. Pantheon as well. And it is just going to be the three members of each of these teams disengaging in the mid lane.
Yeah, it is important. A nice read from Auto Orange just to know that Pyron could make another attempt in the mid lane as, again, Spirax, he's going to be very vulnerable without his flash. And that early plane taking the red buff does mean Auto Orange will probably be about a camp ahead. He's already picked up the scuttle, it looks like, too. So at this point, we're going to see where he also wants to spend some of his time. You talked about seeing Pyron in mid and bot lane, and I agree with you. But Auto Orange, he could spend his time top and have a lot of impact on Chippies, who's already going to be such a big factor playing this Jax.
Stevenator, please, you are playing with fire right now. Fire doesn't have a lot of mana, but trying to bait him over to this Trundle, looking to collect the toll from under the bridge. But now it's Vista who's getting jumped onto in the bot lane. Platypus finds that kill, but it's going to be returned by Vista on the end of that trade.
So going 1-for-1 is pretty nice, but you are losing out on gold and experience from these minions, more so if you're Vista. So this bottom lane's already going a lot less well than it did in game one here. Shady doing a lot of work, staying in lane a little bit more, just going for those kills, and it's been going really well.
Yeah, and I do want to bring up the fact that Vista does have quite a significant CS differential in favor of himself. As Chippies is just hunting down Pain. Pain,
he got him.
He's not. Yeah, he's got this. This is a counter strike coming through to execute Pain in the top lane. Pyro looking to get the trade, is going to be able to pillar. No flashes available for Chippies. He's going to be able to try and buy a little bit of time, trying to get that counter strike back up and running, but is going to be able to do just that. Is going to be able to get the stun. Will not be able to get too terribly far.
Oh, he's
no,
6!
He escapes. Chippies outplays Pyro.
Yeah, I think the level 6 is... Oh, wait a minute.
It's not done yet. A lantern. Zoomer can't click it. You can't click your own lantern there. And to Vista's dismay, they will find themselves getting taken down in a 2v2 in the bot lane.
Yeah, approach velocity is is not a fun rune. Oh my god, are they really? No, he's gonna... Wait,
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. He's stacking up the wave right now. Pain is about to know exactly what his name is for sure. This is a very painful experience. The proxy coming out. Chippies is going to be able to farm up this wave. Orange is actually walking away at this moment in time. Zoomin's up here to the top lane. They don't have vision of him just yet. They're looking for Rupture going a bit wide there, seeing if Orange was in the vicinity, and Chippies gets out just fine.
Yeah, he's doing a good job in his lane too.
Oh, no.
Quite a bit ahead. Oh, the outskill button!
Unleashed. Oh, the power was unleashed and the weak were scattered.
Nice. Spirax, of course, coming out on top once again, 1-0. He's going to be able to shove this wave and safely recall, because look at that. Most of Maryville are in the top side jungle of Pyron here, and he just kind of has to accept it. He's like, okay, I'm just going to farm bot.
Yeah, this is a bit of an unfortunate scenario, I would definitely say, at this current moment in time for the side of Striking Vipers.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the gold lead. It's gone up to about a 3K lead, and all across the board, all three lanes are doing just fine.
I would say they're doing better than fine, Travesty. I mean, look at Chippies.
Yeah, I would
He's
say that
ulting.
too. He is, did you say all lanes were going fine?
You said that. First of all, you can't pin that on me.
I
It's
can
literally on
definitely
record.
Oh no, Pain in a tricky spot right there. He has vision. He knows Shady's over here looking to play. Minion Wave is here. Pain able to dodge out on that. It is going to be Orange with that Dragon Rage kick at this moment in time. Beautiful bit of chain CC to come out, and Orange will secure the kill at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's going to be an easy one they go for here. Pyron will get the Dragon as a consolation, so it seems like once again, Striking Vipers Maestros will be picking up at least some of these early Dragons. But you see Maryville doing the same thing they did on the top side of the map. Whoa! I want a replay of what just happened there.
Yeah, Ash Arrow, baby. Yeah, Ash Arrow came through and was able to find the kill for them. And that's what happens. The HP bars were actually pretty low, and they caught out the Thresh in a really bad position there. And that's talking about Platypus. Platypus has been so good and so aware of their surroundings inside of this series so far. Oh, Shady.
Uh-oh.
Have mercy, Shady. He had Flash Ignite. I was ready for it.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was gonna commit, but it seems like he will not. But again,
he's about. Oh,
I think so.
He's thinking about it. He's like, man, come on, let me get it. Grenades dancing. Trundle's
calls
down
up.
here. He could go for something here. They need to figure out something to pull the trigger on, though. Auto Orange is going to find himself tangoing, subjugated by Pyro. The curtain call coming through, trying to lay out some fire onto him, but Shady is going to be able to block off all these shots. They can't move any farther forward, and that is just going to be nobody else falling down here in the bot side. While Stevenator needs to be careful. Spirats are going to get him yet again here.
And just to talk about that bot lane play just a little bit, they basically make it so that Platypus can go for a good recall here. Now he's getting really close to what is looking like a wit's end first item, as that's becoming pretty popular on champs like Ashe and Kog'Maw. And they've left the Herald up for now, but you gotta imagine Odd Orange is going to transition back to the top side of the map. It's where a lot of Maryville's vision is, and they just want to do the same thing they did in game 1. Snowball with that Rift Herald, get extra plates, potentially use it off in a lane to get yourself the first goal, the bonus gold of taking the first turret, and Maryville are just going to run away with this.
I do want to talk about something that feel like they have been running away from the side of Pyro here. Pyro, in terms of farm, hasn't really been able to get anything, and in terms of what he's gotten, he's sitting on the board with no kill participation to show for his efforts here. While you look across the table, Auto Orange 1-0-1 has shown some efforts getting his team ahead, and is also ahead in farm. That's pretty huge. As Stevenator, and I don't even need to commentate that, he just got destroyed in the mid lane there. 4 members bear down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Nobody on the map. So they took advantage of that misposition there from Stevenator, and there it is. They're going to move up to what could be Rift Herald, a play top side. You know plates are going down either way, and once again, they have Platypus alone on the bottom side of the map. He's got heal, he's got the arrow, and as we've seen from experience, he's probably fine.
He's probably fine. I agree with that. As
Oh,
talking
the
about
arrow!
somebody who's not probably fine, he's most certainly not. Zoomin is not going to be fine. Vista trying to play a play, but he has to reload his gun. The minions aren't able to finish him off here, and it's going to be unbenched Platypus staying alive.
Man, and the amount of times Platypus has gotten away by the skin of his teeth has just been unreal, and it's got to be demoralizing for Vista, especially after having such a good game 1 here. Striking Vipers, they are starting to run out of options here. This is a really important game, as if they lose this one, they're out of the tournament. So if they want to go on to the semifinals, they're going to have to, well, for one, dig pretty deep. Wasn't able to steal the Herald. He's not able to do much of anything, sadly. He's going to have to walk back. But a big objective fight needs to come through for Striking Vipers. But with how far ahead Maryville are,
It's
the chances
hard.
don't look good.
I mean, this is a competition that in the mid game, they hit their item troughs, right? Like, this is going to be a scary point. We're gonna Jats is about to hit level 11 and have his first item bought into this Cho'Gath, which will be a Bork. That's going to be pretty terrifying to have to deal with at this point in time. As Stevenator feeling something else that's terrifying, which is this Syndra's Wrath. Spirats still just being an absolute bully inside this mid lane, and Auto Orange coming in to make sure he gets even more cash money.
Yeah, there. Oh,
no.
man. See, speaking of cash money, more in the top side here for Maryville, and Spirax, he has flash. He's also 3 levels up. I think he's not very scared. He's got so much gold in his pocket too. Wait, Pyro?
Yeah, Pyro is over chase that greed equal speed, my friend, and he goes down. Zoomin gets scattered, and it is going to be just another tower that's going to go down in
Favor of Maryville. This is an inner mid tower taken before 13 minutes.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And with the lead that Maryville have already gotten for themselves here, we're looking at AK across the board. It just means that with the being able to push this mid wave in, you have to be so cautious base checking in your own jungles. Like you said, 13 minutes in the game.
Oh, Stevenator looking for a play, but it's just over to the side. Shady just stuffs it every single time. You can't aggress on the Platypus just like that.
No, unfortunately not. And I mean, you see yourself in this 1v1 scenarios. Lucian, you're playing into Ashe, you know arrows down. It's worth going for it here. Oh, no.
He just came back to life. Give him a moment. Platypus gets taken down by the tower. He will be able to click the lantern to safety. Spirits is over here to the side with his ultimate coming up. Shady sitting in the wings. Scattered a weak connect yet again. Death sentence, not so much. And Pyro is going to get caught out of position by this Pantheon here. There's actually a Pantheon solo killing the Trundle in his jungle.
Oh, he's I think 2 levels on Pyro too.
Oh. They get caught, lost in the sauce. Spirates is going to make sure to obliterate him. A double kill brought to you by one member of Maryville as Chippy is just tearing through the HP of Pain. He puts down a smart rupture, but it's not enough to be able to stop this man.
When you're being chased down by a 2-in-1 Jax who already has Bork, Smarts only gets you so far. And I mean, what could Smarts do for you there? The second Pantheon gets on top of you, just take your hands off the keyboard. You're not playing anymore. It's okay.
Yeah. You can let somebody else take the keyboard at that point in time. And
Jesus, take the keyboard.
Jesus, take the keyboard. A hit song by our very own esports singer, Carrie Underfaker. As Vista is in trouble yet again here. As it's going to be Orange. He takes those every day of the week. Hey, remember what happened when we did this to you now? Here's the highlight reel clip coming in for Orange, and that's Vista taken down at his own expense.
Sure is. Not just his expense, also at the expense of Striking Vipers, Maestros. They're looking for a punish. But as it always seems to be in this game, there is no punish to be found. Maryville are going to go on their merry way. I mean, yeah, Maryville's going to be the one doing it.
There's punishing. Let's go ahead and get this clear real quick. As you want to talk about punish, Stevenator finding the brute force of that punish right there.
It just feels like everything Striking Vipers do is illegal. It's not fair. It's so difficult. We're looking at 22-2.
All right, wait, hold on. Are you saying that just what Striking Vipers is doing is illegal? Or are you talking about Maryville doing something illegal here? Because I think we saw Jack over on the analyst test saying, wow, I can't believe we were able to show this. And okay. Maryville
I will tell you the distinction.
A fantastic time, man.
I will tell you the distinction. Striking Vipers are doing illegal maneuvers like this. Being outside of your tier 2's range, Pain, that's not allowed.
Oh, yeah. Wait. That's very fair, as Orange is caught out of position here, but the Gorge Ring will make it all okay, as it's going to be the re-engage coming on back through. Orange laying out a good amount of damage. Zoomin is going to be able to connect the Death Sentence here, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits Vista on the side. It's just curtains for you, my friend, as Orange will be able to help finish him off. A solo kill happens over into the top side. Maryville is absolutely running away with this game right now. A 13K lead. 16 and a half minutes in.
And I think that's the prime example of what I'm trying to say here, where what Maryville is doing is not necessarily illegal, but travesty. This is not okay.
I would, it depends on who you cheer for, I guess. If you had the hashtag Maryville win, you're like, this is fine. I love this. But
even Rebel Fox would say it.
Yeah, this is like Rebel Fox just being like, oh yes, I love this look, as he just decimates a Trundle here. Spires is godlike. This is, I feel like there's no fights to commentate because the HP bars are just gone just like that. Like, it's just pure deletion at this point in time. Like, I could try and spit some bars, man, but there's no time for bars. It's just like I'm doing some slam poetry out here.
Yeah, I think at this point it would be like trying to commentate the task manager ending processes. It just happens so quickly. If you ever tried to close something, Discord's not working correctly, and you just make it disappear, that's what's happening here.
I feel like we're about to go into like an ad read territory here. Have you ever
use the task manager? What is that? A Windows ad, basically? Yeah, you guys. Who doesn't have?
I think that's a good ad. As
Gonna
get another fight coming through here. Pyro is caught out, is gone to be gone. That sense does connect onto the Syndra. Syndra goes golden. They're trying to see if they pick up the kill onto Spyro, but it's going to be a double kill on the back of it. Pain looking to munchitize me. Captain finds a kill on the backside of that. Will be able to get a stack, but it's going to cost them everything.
Whoa, and then Maryville could potentially end the game here if they wanted to. Even though the spawn timers aren't too long, they have the Herald coming through. Oh, they have so much damage.
Look at Stevenator. He's gone, man. Give him a break. His Orange getting jumped jumped onto. The flash chomp coming through. Curtain call coming in as well. File away at single file line. And Maryville won't be able to end the game just yet, but man, oh man, a commanding lead, 33-4, and an immense gold lead for themselves.
Yeah, usually you don't want to take the rather you don't want to take an inhibitor this early in the game, but Maryville very well could be able to end it. They would have the keys to basically their semifinal spot here as Odd Orange is in trouble.
Yeah, Odd Orange, and is he in trouble, really?
Maybe not. I lied. I'm sorry.
Odd Orange is just showing everybody that his Lee Sin is something to be feared, while Spirats just deleted Trundle right there. That was a Trundle's HP bar gone completely. He just completed his Divine Sundoor. And this is just Maryville saying nothing belongs to you, Striking Viper. It's all everywhere where the shadow touches is like it's not yours. You don't go there.
Everything that the screen displays is our domain.
Yeah, like this is Maryville just saying no. You get to play the game as we get to tell you to play the game. And right now we say we want to play some aimbot. We wanted to play some target sim. You know.
Yeah, I do know Travesty. And I think Striking Vipers know this one all too well. Wow.
Yeah. It's like Pain can't do anything. He has grievous wounds too. Like he has a bramble. He has a thorn mail. Actually.
He has a full thorn mail. Yeah.
Like it doesn't stop this healing. Look at over into the top side. Chippies is on a killing spree. Finds another kill onto the Cho'Gath here. The culling will come out. This is just Striking Vipers trying to figure out what they can do. I think this is the first time I've seen Shady ult this game. I'm gonna just say that. Dodging. Who gets it? Who gets it? The creature! No! Oh, wait. Spyro's got it. Okay.
You know what? I just remembered I had an idea earlier watching a fight. Imagine there's a champion that works with Ashe in the way that she can like deflect her arrow.
Like you mean like
you can change the direction. Like on your team.
Okay.
Like
okay.
You could like 90-degree turn it if you wanted to. Wouldn't that be cool?
I was thinking more like I could catch the arrow and throw it back at her. I was no.
It would be a teammate thing.
Oh no, I was thinking more of like, I can just grab the enemy Ashe arrow and throw it at him. As I think that's something that they would like to do with all these projectiles coming this way. Striking Vipers down to 3 members here, and Maryville are just padding the KDAs as they continue to go forward. A TP coming in to the base itself. Pain able to soak up the damage for a bit, but Stevenator trying to go forward, seeing if he'll be able to find himself his first kill in the game, but that's going to be the game going over. Maryville picking up, I guess the best word for it is a statement game in game number 2.
Yeah, the statement was this game is over now. This game was over before it even started. That's what that statement was. And although Striking Vipers, Maestro, I mean, kudos to you, you tried, but they weren't able to make the comeback. Maryville will get themselves that semifinal spot, that guaranteed top 4 finish, as they will be advancing to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Maryville. They moved on in the UGP, the Unified Grand Prix, inside the loser bracket, and now they're over here. They're moving their way on up through the UPL. So fantastic to them. Maryville moving their way on up in the world, and to Striking Vipers Maestro, definitely look forward to seeing what these players are going to be able to bring out, as this is an org infamous for raising up their talent. They see potential and they know how to grow it. So looking forward to seeing what the journey of those players will be. But for them, it does end here at the hands of Maryville, who just took a commanding victory there. Beatdown, do you have any last words before we send it over to our lovely Des to break everything down and get us taken care of?
I want there to be a champion that can deflect Ashe arrow.
I want there to be a champion that
it's all I can
grab
think
Ashe
about.
arrow. I want a champion. I want a champion that can straight up do like D&D monk stuff. So that's my idea.
It's fair.
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, take it away, Desk.
Wow. Yikes. Oh my God. Oof, boof. That was, That was
Good
all
boy.
the Gaba with no ghoul, bro. Striking Vipers just had their last Gaba ghoul here, Eric. And I'm not sure exactly how we can exactly come back for this, but oh, we got Kitty and Doggy. They're so cute.
Hold 'em in
Zuki,
the
say
same
hi
way.
to stream.
Okay.
No. Okay, we'll
Okay,
put you down, little girly.
Okay, I wait. No, but I want to know what Zuki thought about the game.
She kind of fell asleep through
Oh,
it.
she's there.
It was a very short nap, though, considering how quick this series went.
That's fair enough. Your cat kind of just brushed you off, Eric. Kind of like how Striking Vipers got brushed off the entire game.
Yeah. You know, I'm a doo-doo, but I'll give you like a 2 out of 10 on that one, Ravish. But yeah, that was pretty brutal, especially considering that we look at the end game of that Ravish, and that was 20 minutes, 20K separating these two teams. It's a hard way to go down, that's for sure.
They had 10 times the kills. Within
Yeah.
it was 42-5, essentially. Now, if Nathan hadn't died to the fountain, it would have been literally 42-4. So I just hope for the mentals of Striking Vipers. I hope they're doing okay. I hope they're able to, shake these things off and look upon brighter days, because Jack, wherever they are, it is storming.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what we call getting to play League of Legends.
No,
You know,
okay,
The game you
Not
downloaded
getting,
to
not getting.
specifically play that you're not
This
getting
is-
to play, right?
Okay, you know what? Let's call it how it is. Realistic guys, look, bro. Maryville at the end of the day were the better team. Now we knew coming in with the better team, Striking Vipers, Maestros. If we're being really honest here, they inched their way up into playoffs here, just right above Rock Tribe, due to a difference in game score. So, like, there by the end of it, right? They're up against Maryville University, a team which is seasoned, with a lot of support and a lot of staff behind them, right?
Aw.
And with players that have been through, near the top of the LC, or near the top of any League of Legends, I should say. So, for what is an amateur team, right? They held their own, they tried their darndest, but this was a result that was genuinely expected. So, to Striking Vipers, I hope you're able to come back from this. I hope you guys, go back to the Dragon Ball a little bit. Rethink your drafts, like just a little bit. Like, I want you guys to look at what you're prioritizing, and then move forward into easily executable compositions, because that'll benefit you the most. But Eric, any thoughts you had on that or not?
I mean, if we're gonna start with draft, I really do want to know why Striking Vipers are so obsessed with Illusion. I mean, I kind of get it why. You do get the triple flex. You can throw it into any of those lanes, but the thing is, they're always giving up a lot in these drafts. They start off with Illusion, then go straight into the Trundle and Thresh to follow it up right after. But okay, now you're trying to flex around your solo lanes. They take Cho'Gath as their last pick and allow for the last pick on Maryville's side to be a counter Jax. The draft really does need some work, but as you were saying, some of the gameplay is there for Striking Vipers. We saw a lot of high points coming out of Deer Vista. We've seen a lot of high points coming up Period when it comes to the pass and his jungling when he is able to get that early momentum. But star of the day is definitely going to be Maryville. They look like studs when it came to this. Every single one of their players had highlight moments. Chippy's being the OPL veteran, he was up there styling over with the Jax. Odd-Orange looked great on the lead sin. Spyrax brutalized the mid lane. Over in the bottom lane, sure, Deer Vista, we already talked about that, but Azog and Shady especially, with a lot of those roams that we saw. Maryville, they look like the complete package here today.
Shady definitely Mr. Worldwide there with his roams.
You can tell, and in fact, he's not even the bald ones. We are. So, I would say if the shoe fits, definitely does wear it. But on your end, Jack, any closing thoughts you had?
Thanks for having me, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. You kind of just threw me out there. I will write that up on your report if I do submit one in the user feedback.
Thank you. I look forward to everything you have for us in of course our upcoming surveys. But Druxus, I should say thank you for always being by my side. Jack, appreciate you joining us. Travis C. Boulevard, Appreciate y'all having a good time. And of course, our production for today, big shout out to them as always, Hypertension and Cizna, for making us look good. I've been Ravish Gravis, the most ravish man on the internet. Meet us here tomorrow as well as we continue towards the bracket. Till then, take care.